Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the commander reporting for duty alongside my co-commentator Tim Bunn as we bring you another exciting round of the Summer League America-Swiss qualifiers.
Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so it looks like we're going to have a very exciting match tonight. We have Mikhael, Shane Lizard, however you want to look at it, versus fldash, fldash. There's a lot of Nupton on the table tonight. 9 total Nupton heroes.
A lot of Nupton, but thankfully only one Kenwee, because as we all know, I have an unbridled passion and hate for Kenwee. I can't explain why, but the only good Kenwee is a dead Kenwee.
I could not agree more. That is one of the most frustrating heroes to play against. All right, so it looks like we had fldash. He's picking Yami. Then over on the other side, we have Akudi and Ekrit. 3 really, really good heroes.
And all of them designed to try and grab early control of the board. Obviously, Yami will try to use her passive, dash through a minion, set them on fire, and then kill the other. And I think we all know what Ekrit does. She likes to waltz into the dome, summon her illusion, and then just laser down an entire line of minions.
Yep, exactly. And then it looks like we got a Habarat and a Setharu for some damage dealing. Habarat being a melee assassin, and for that 4 with 2 cards is going to be pretty brutal potentially. Although there's a lot of armor on the other side. All right, Kenwee and Setharu.
So I'm expecting a pretty high damage game here based on what we've got. We've got 2 Setharus. We've got a Habarat on the field. We have, by the way, for our victory conditions, Obstinacy, defeating the same hero twice, Invasion, both control tokens adjacent to the enemy towers or the Nexus by the end of turn 2 or later, and finally, Right Breach, destroying your opponent's destroying your opponent's tower in your right lane.
Yep, and I will say, I'm going to go ahead and call my shot. I think we're going to have a win by Right Breach here. Calling it.
Okay. And do you have any immediate thoughts of who will be the Right Breach victor?
I'm once again just calling. I think it's going to be Mikhael. I think that Ekrit and Akudi are going to be able to push hard enough to get it there.
Okay, see what happens.
And I think that they have enough armor on that side to potentially stave off any death and destruction that might become of them.
So during the dice roll or the coin flip before we started the stream, Mikhael did win, and he elected to go second in this competition. So we'll see that allowed fldash to select Lord of the Ancestors as this game's outsider, and so we'll see what the strategy involves around those choices.
It's interesting because looking at what fldash drafted, it feels pretty aggressive. I mean, I guess Miyuki's not very aggressive. But the Lord of the Ancestors, I would say, is the least aggressive outsider.
Yeah, Lord of the Ancestors definitely more brought on for a control type game as opposed to an aggression type game.
All right, these guys are flying through the setup. They're mulliganed, and I think they're ready to start.
All right, so let's see what we have here. First activation. I anticipate first activation will likely be Yami. Just because, as we mentioned, she's very good for an opener. If you can trail flames through the minions, set one of them on fire, kill off the other, you can immediately get a strong move. And there we go. Yami's on the move already.
Skirmish. She's going to get fast. Yep, there's the swiftness. Swiftness cycling itself is one of the more powerful one-cost cards, I think. Getting fast on turn 1, especially with someone like Yami, is huge. And then not being down on card advantage is also huge, you know.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of the things that some people might discount about swiftness is that in addition to the fast speed, you also get the bonus of drawing another card.
100%. And then we see Yami going for the... wait, what's happening? Okay.
Oh,
that was just a move.
So that takes care of her Trail of Flames passive to her. I'm sorry, I forget what the actual term is. Deathly Touch, not Trail of Flames. But it seems that she's actually not going for the attack based on the fact she's hiding in the bush. She will end up leading from hand, also an option to open up with.
100%. And I think this is a common mistake that a lot of newer players make, is that you have to kill all of the minions. In reality, on the first turn, killing all of the minions doesn't matter. as long as you're winning. So if you win by at least 1, you're going to kill that other minion anyways, and it's going to be within range of their tower.
Right, and you can't damage the tower on round 1 anyways, since you're 4 hexes away from the tower. So it is nice to get an early push, but as you mentioned, you don't need to kill all the minions, because then coming turn 2, you will have the control token pushing to where it can then begin to damage the tower later.
And by him leading over there, that means he's not going to have to commit someone else there necessarily.
And so now Kenwi's on the move, bringing herself out into the open, which is excellent because that means it's easier to kill her. Wait, what?
What's the question?
Oh, no. I was just being funny about Kenwi's jumping out in the open. He's gun her down. Or cut her down, I suppose.
Yeah, and she's going there. She's worshiping, so she can't be targeted by attacks. And then she's leading.
All right. Looks like going for some control in the dome. Also, again, not a bad idea. As we did notice, since we have the almighty commentator's knowledge, we can tell you that by taking a peek in the deck, that Mikhael's deck is set up a little bit better for control. So therefore, the Lord of the Ancestors would be, I think, valuable to him. And so I suspect we will see him place a little bit higher of a priority on the dome.
Yep, I agree with that completely. All right, so it looks like he's going with Habarat. He's moving up. He's skirmishing, hitting Kenwi. It's worth noting that skirmishes do not target the enemy, so therefore it does not actually get prevented by Kenwi's ability.
Yep, and unfortunately, +1 on the flip. Kenwi has 1 armor, so totaled 0 damage, and so now we're going to go after the illusion with the attack action to remove that. Illusions obviously have 1 HP, 0 armor, and oh no, there's a +3 on the flip.
Losing that Yami ultimate on that illusion is not what you want to see. Not what you want to see at all. I mean, it's one of the worst cards that could flip there, I think, for him.
I would agree. Yeah, that or really, I mean, any alt in general, but especially Kneel Before Me.
Yeah, it's just such a powerful card, especially if he's going to be trying to either prevent control or push any of these lanes. It's going to be huge later, or it would have been huge later.
Well, in that case, you know what the solution is? We got to cycle through that deck and shuffle them back.
Yep, only 19 more cards to go.
I mean, if Habarat attacks fast enough, I believe there is... nope, there is nothing to induce Frenzy in that deck, so we won't be able to burn through 4 cards with a Frenzy type attack, but he does still burn 2 cards per flip, so if you attack enough, we can maybe get through the deck by turn 4 if the game isn't over.
Yeah, I think that we can definitely get there, especially with skirmishes and attacks. All right, so we got some thinking going on here, how to respond to that aggressive Habarat. Because Habarat, you can't really just let abide. That 18 health is hard to get through, and then it's also, he's just a machine that is scary.
Next turn, if he projects, the ability, his illusion projection will give him +1 attack, and as you just mentioned, he is extremely dangerous, has a base 4 +2 flips on the card. We can watch someone like a squishy Setharu die very quickly, which is we see then Setharu going as far away from Habarat as he possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. All right, he's just moving up, attacking this minion. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lead come out here.
Oh, and another ultimate burned on a flip. Jeez.
I will say her ultimate, while good, is not as good as some of the other ones, in my opinion.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, mostly I was thinking it would be better if we were using it for damaging a hero or as a lead from hand item. But I would agree.
All right, and we did see a lead, but from deck, so this could be feudal.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that, based on the heroes that have been drafted here, there are a fair amount of 1 costs in the deck right now. There's obviously a bunch of 2s and 3s, but the chance that that's a 1 cost is not insignificant.
I agree completely. I wouldn't be surprised to see Miyuki come up here and mark Setharu this round. Get his damage down for the next round.
Yeah, that would certainly be something you want to do. Sethru being a mage with piercing, stopping him from being able to flip and dropping his attack by 1 from Miyuki's mark definitely helps to mitigate his usefulness.
It looks like he's thinking about going Sethru now. He's probably going to move up and put some damage into Kinui. Or not.
Nope, can't do that. I guess we're going for controlling the lane.
This is not how I foresaw this first turn going. Oh, no, he's going in the middle. There's a move skirmish.
Ooh. And a
3
plus
piercing
3
damage.
So he moved once, and then he's going to move back out. Okay, and so then perhaps a lead action to... Or is he going to attack the minion? Yep, he's going to attack the minion for his final action. Very nice.
I wonder if the lead is just going to be better there. Killing one minion.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a lead with Habarat or Sethru. So Akudi could come over there, kill a minion or 2 potentially, and then push that lane back, even though you put 2 characters over there.
And I mean, he still also has Ekrit to go as well, so you could always just move her up into the dome, laser both of those down, and well, that would be the end of her action. But yeah, you could then have Akudi. Actually, yeah, I would say in terms of action efficiency, your plan is better. Just have Akudi go in, kill the minion, and then lead.
Yeah, it's a sticky wicket for sure.
Well, speaking of Akudi, looks like Akudi's going to take flight here. See with what we do here.
Skirmishing Habarat, who has 0 armor, for 1 damage.
Okay.
Attacking.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Attack.
Okay.
And then a lead, maybe? Thinking that lead's just going to be enough to get there, which it very likely could.
Yeah, right. I mean, right now, fldash has a total lead value of 3 to Mikhail's 2. So with any lead there, as long as the lead's... Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now with the lead card, at worst, he ties. But more than likely, he'll win by 1 or 2 points here.
And this is why I think leading with Sethru there is probably better than that attack.
I would agree in hindsight now. So here's the thing. I would assume that Ekrit is going to just kind of do her normal thing, even though there's only 1 minion in each of the control lanes left to do. You still move Ekrit into the dome. You guarantee that you win the dome then, since who was it? Kenwi has the lead from hand, so I'm assuming that that's going to be a 3. So therefore, you would have a total of 5 in the dome. Even if Miyuki goes into the dome and leads with a 3, you still basically lose the dome automatically. So I'm wondering what the play is on this.
Yeah.
Challenge for control C1. That's probably the best play here, I think.
I agree. But by doing this, it means Ekrit's free to do whatever she would like, which is also scary.
Yeah. Oh, undoing that. Maybe not.
Maybe going to move first.
Yeah, there's no need to lead with Miyuki, since, as I said, the dome is mathematically lost, I would say. Although that apparently we're still going to go and just start laying damage on Kenwi, maybe? Well, that's +2 on the flip for Miyuki there, -1 from the armor. And then she's going to move over there and I guess attack that final minion.
Yep. Really just trying to push this lane. Which is the right breach.
Yeah, I think your early prediction of right breach victory definitely seems to be the case. Based on the board state, I believe both players will advance their right breach. fldash will win lane 1, Mikhael will win lane 2, and then Mikhael, as of right now, well, actually, no, Mikhael is guaranteed to win the dome now. So he'll be able to use the Lord of the Ancestors, presumably to move that token 1 more forward, or he may use it as a defensive measure and force control token 1 back.
I've found that whenever I'm activating Lord of Ancestors, I don't even trigger the move a control token. It's usually a skirmish, an attack, and then a spawn a minion, or move the minion if you really need it.
Okay, see, I have been inducted into the Hall of the Dark Vigilante. I have Game Slayer. Shout outs to Game Slayer to thank for that one. So I don't use much Lord of the Ancestor, and most people usually run either the original Outsider or Terror of the Night that I found. So I don't see too much of the Lord of the Ancestors being used.
Yeah, one of the players I play with the most is Eric or Woot, and that's the Outsider he's used by far the most against me.
Ah, okay.
In his control decks, he wants the least impactful one because he doesn't want to have to worry about the dome while he's pushing lanes.
Which, to be fair, makes total sense, right? If you don't have to worry, because the Outsider, depending on what they can do, the Outsiders can be game changers. And so if you don't have to necessarily worry too much about it, then that's one less thing that you need to focus on during the actual game.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I would say the Outsiders are huge swings sometimes, especially if it's one of the ones that you mentioned, like the Terror or Vigilante or the regular Outsider. Just being able to draw cards or do 3 attacks or versions of an attack are huge.
Well, I know. One time we were playing we were playing a 2v2 game, and the Dark Vigilante ended up killing 2 heroes in its single activation. It was pretty gruesome.
It can do it, especially if you got an aggressive deck. All right, so lane 1, they both flipped to 3. They both got 2 heroes, so it looks like it's going to be a push. Spawning some minions. So this is an instance where using the Outsider to push a token can make sense if you're really going to try to push or defend.
Right, but in this situation, I almost want to say, there's always the debate of, do you make your leads bigger or do you kind of defend your losses kind of things? And with this push right here, this is neither a win nor a loss, as you mentioned. So in this situation, there can't be any tower damage, at least until round 3. So the question is, why not just go and push Control Zone 2 and just start wailing on it next turn? Because now fldash is on the defensive here, because clearly this is a victory for Mikhael in lane 2. The control token is already going to advance up. It looks 2 squares here. And so press it up against the tower and, just start going for your right breach win condition.
Yeah, I think so you spawn over here on the lane 2. You spawn an extra minion. You might even move a minion over and then attack a minion. And then you got 3 extra control that turn in quotation marks. And then he's winning the dome. So where is he going to spawn it? Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Spawning a minion. Moving 1.
And move the control.
Oh, he's moving it. Yeah.
Maybe.
I feel like moving the token is not worth it here.
Yeah, looking at this again, you've got it. You've got significant pressure there, and pressing it against the tower might be nice, but there are other options that you can use as well.
Yeah, I think that attacking Sethru is better than pushing the token.
Yeah, try to get the mage down. Like that's one of the obvious balance points of mages is that they're super squishy, and as we mentioned, Sethru brings a lot of firepower, but he also goes down very quickly as well.
A lot of thought going into this. Wonder if he's realized that he doesn't want to move it and wishing he had spawned somewhere different.
Yeah, because if he would have spawned it, a little bit closer to the Nexus, you could have attempted to kill off the one minion that is right next to to the control zone to the right. So let's see what he does here. He's not gonna move the ancestor, is he? We don't have the victory cards where you're able to, okay, he is. Interesting. All right.
Just trying to block some.
Yep.
What is happening?
It looks like he killed the minion, but isn't that 4 actions?
I think so.
He spawned a minion, he moved a minion, he moved the outsider.
Unless they're just saying that he spawned it there. That's probably what happened. They let him spawn it. I wonder if he thought that the Lord of the Ancients was ranged.
That might be the case. Because that would be within 3 from where the Lord of the Ancestor was originally spawned.
All right. Looks like we're going to round 2 now. They cleaned up. And they're thinking. Yeah, no objective tokens.
Heroes are mostly healthy, so it doesn't look like we're going to add any kill pressure right away. The weakest ones are still at 14 HP.
Mm-hmm. Which goes a lot quicker than I thought it would whenever I first started playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, they have like 16 health. That's cool. They have 17 health. They're going to live forever. That's just like 1 or 2 activations away from just being dead.
Oh, I know. Especially when you're going against a green magic hero, not necessarily from the green faction, but someone that can use green. And then all of a sudden, everything's all well and good. And then they play Rampant Hatred, and you're like, oh, there goes 9 of my hit points. And they still have 3 actions.
Oh, yeah. All of their skirmish shenanigans can catch you off guard real easy.
So we also have the Skytear Flux cards still available. So now in round 2, that means we might see some level 3 magic coming out of fldash's side here, if he so chooses.
So it looks like fldash still has 7 cards in his hand. Is he thinking about what to discard? Is that what we're waiting for?
I would assume so, yeah, because he has to discard down before we can fully start round 2.
All right, after round 1, any thoughts on how this game's going to progress now?
Well, I mean, at this point, as I mentioned, it's pretty clear from the board state. I would say that Mikhael has the edge. He successfully defended the attack on right breach from fldash. Meanwhile, won 2 out of 3 control zones, and is in pretty good position right now to further his assault on the right breach condition for himself. Habarat is, I'm sorry, not Habarat. Setharu is hidden in the bush there for fldash, so it's not like we can just wail on him in a free-for-all and get him off the board. But it is going to be more difficult for fldash to reinforce the left side of the map for him because of the positions of his other heroes. Although I guess Habarat could move in there, so depends on if Mikhael wants to go for an all-out collapse, or if we're just going to continue to kind of spread our forces out across the 3 different control points.
I think that spreading out makes the most sense here. You're putting a lot of pressure on him, so he has to come defend his left lane so he doesn't lose to the right breach. You can start pushing the right lane, and he has to defend that too, or else you're potentially going to get invasion, which means he can't focus on the dome, which means you can just keep applying pressure. I think that the game is definitely slanted in Michael's favor at this point.
Now, the interesting thing that I note is based on the spawn of the minions from Control Zone 1, Ekrit will not be able to 2-for-1 attack them. There's not any way for her to orient herself, summon her token, and then hit the minions all in one go.
Her minions are the red ones, right?
Correct, yeah. So there's no orientation.
She totally can. She can put it to the other side of the minions and then move into that bush.
You're right. You are correct. I apologize. No, I'm used to it has to pass through the attack and then hit the minions, but no, you're right. As long as the attack is caught in the AoE, or the illusion is caught in the entire line, then it is valid. So you're right. Nope. Okay, so both of those minions can still be killed.
Which is bonkers that she can just do that. Yami will have no trouble making work of that one minion over there, though.
Yeah.
Flasher's taking his time, which is smart because he's really got to make this turn count if he's going to pull out of this game, I think.
And I think that's an underappreciated part of the game is thinking through your moves. I know that there's definitely a number of times where I've kind of played a match where I just kind of jumped at it, did something without thinking it through, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in trouble now.
Every game I do that. Like, oh, I should have put this pillar one more space that way for whatever reason. All right, so Sethru leads. Maybe you're going to hit a minion here. It's not what you want, but it's what you got to do sometimes.
Yep. I mean, we've got attack and lead marked, so did he attack a Kuti?
He could attack a Kuti or a minion, I think, are the two possible targets. And I don't know that he knows which one he's going to do yet.
Well, if he has the Dragon Punch card, this might not be a bad time to move yourself and Dragon Punch the minions so that you can clear out some space.
I think that if he had Dragon Punch, he would be quicker on the draw of what he's planning on doing.
That's a fair point.
So he's skirmishing first.
Okay.
For one can we?
All right, there we go.
Oh, and then he killed the minion? Is that what happened? Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah, because if we
saw it actually happen.
Yeah, because Akuti is still at full HP, and since Sethru does piercing, there's no way she would have been able to defend it.
Kanoe moving in there, worshipping, and probably going to lead.
Yep. Make it so that she can't be targeted by attacks, and then just counter whatever control values.
Oh, presence?
Okay.
Presence is not what you want to see here of your F-Flash. Oh, F-Dash.
Yeah, presence will definitely help out, especially if she gets a... Actually, if he gets a 3 lead here, this could
be started too.
Yeah.
Now, what would be crazy is if Akuti had a presence as well.
Well, if Akuti has a presence, this game is over. I think you will overload based on the fact that there's 4 minions to F-Dash's 1, plus the presence boosts and the heroes themselves and the lead from Kenwee. I think the game would just end.
Yeah, this is a delicate tightrope that F-Dash is walking if he's going to survive this turn, I think.
And it's fascinating just like the different dynamics that you can have in terms of game length, because I remember my very first game, we were still learning the game, obviously, but it went all the way till the final activation in round 5 of the Outsider, and then we won by killing someone with the Outsider. And so I'm like, okay, so this game may take a little while, but it's still a lot of fun. And then we come here and watch this situation where, we've seen games end in turn 2, turn 3 on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah. This is a game that definitely, because of the way the objectives are done and the way that lists can be constructed, it's wildly varied how long a game can be. Because I've had plenty of games go, to round 5 and no winner. And I've had plenty of games that are done on round 2. Which is one of the things I love.
Yeah, the nice thing about Skytear that I find is it's not repetitive. Like, people are like, oh, you have 24 heroes. You can mix and match all over the place, but also just the victory condition objectives make it so you're not playing the same game every time.
100%. Commander, are you looking forward to the new objective coming out in Ashen Pass?
The one where you can kill the Outsider?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, yes. I think that is going to be such a great change.
If you want to talk about games ending on turn 2, I think that's one that definitely can.
Yeah, it's like you bring in someone like Shalavi or Akimo or Habarat, and then, oh, look at this. I have strength over pain. Guess what, outsider? You're done. All right, good game, everyone. Next.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a very different change of pace.
I wonder if that's going to promote possibly the increase then of the original outsider being brought, since he has not only the most HP, but also he's the only one with 2 armor. Because the other ones all have 18 or 19 hit points and 1 armor, except Scourge of Puido, who has no armor at all.
Yeah, I think it's going to see an increase in Scourge and an increase in the outsider for sure. People that are going for that objective and people that are trying to counter it. Although I'll say both of those are not, low in the stats either, I feel like.
I agree with that, yeah.
Scourge is just so scary. Every time I activate it, I'm like, I have no idea what the right move is here. It's so dangerous.
Yeah, that is actually the only outsider that I've never played with. I've never played with it, nor against it, nor commentated a match with it, so I would have 0 advice to give on what to do with Scourge of Puido.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I started playing right after the Outsiders expansion came out, and I just made a point of switching between each outsider every game to see how they all feel.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I played this Scourge, I was just like, I don't know what to do with my hands, All right, we got the Flux being used.
Okay.
Seeing something that costs 3, I imagine.
Show me. Well, I guess we already said we would have seen Dragon Punch if that was the case. So the question is, what's coming out? Is it a Wind Blast, maybe?
Unstoppable.
Frenzy and Fast to Habarat. So we're going to go and try and execute somebody.
Probably a Cootie?
I would almost guarantee it has to be. You can't target Kenwi, even though she's the lowest. Although he might go... Let's see, wait, where's their Sethu? No, can't get to Sethu. So I would say it almost has to be a Cootie.
I mean, he could get to Sethu.
Oh, yeah, he could actually. Never mind. Yeah, I miscounted.
It's not where you want to be, though. I think if he can kill a Cootie here, that's huge, but
yes,
it's a big ask, I think, with the 16 HP and an army left.
Yeah, especially since Sethu already moved.
Okay, yeah, he's just going to go kill 2 minions.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Flipping 4 cards here, though.
Getting through that cycle deck, man. We need Kneel Before Me.
If that comes back to, win the game for him.
That would be awesome.
Spending that token to attack the other minion. Yep.
All right, so that'll prevent a right breach victory for Mikhael, at least from round 2. With that amount of minions being dead, you won't be able to one-shot the tower.
Moving, attacking, probably a worship.
Yeah, since Sethu already led, and you can't... Well, I mean, I guess you could try and skirmish and deal some damage to Kenwi, but that doesn't seem effective. I would say Worship would probably be the right call here.
Just get it on the board.
It is a skirmish, though. Okay.
Hitting Kenwi for nothing. Oh, and a Wind Blast is gone? Bummer. Okay.
All right, so Cootie's going. So let's see. Right now, fldash has a control score of 6. If we assume that we have a +3 under Sethu, and Mikhael has, let's see, 2, 3, 4, I think, plus whatever Kenwi's flip is.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like we're seeing this Ekrit play over on the right lane.
Yep, there it is. And the token goes exactly as you called it. And so I assume she'll go into the bush. There we go. And dead minions.
Yep. Ekrit doing what Ekrit does best. just being annoying.
So speaking of new things coming out, how excited are you for that one card, the Mindfulness card, where you could potentially use Ekrit twice in one round and clear off the minions in both sides?
I don't know that my brain has... I don't know that my brain has really understood how that's going to happen, like how to use that card the best.
For those of us who might be not who didn't see the card, basically there was a new card called Mindfulness. It is a red card, 1 mana, and I think a +0 on the flip that essentially allows you to trade one hero's turn for another hero. You can spend 3 action points to essentially re-ready an exhausted hero. And so most people are figuring that it's only going to be useful if you can take advantage of heroes' specific abilities. One of those being obviously Ekrit's ability to attack multiple minions based on where her illusion is positioned.
100%. And I think her ability, I think Zakol's double push will be really good. I think that Estrada converting 2 minions is going to be insane. I think we're going to see a blue-red deck that comes out of that. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and because obviously you can mix them so that even if it's blue-red, you can mix them so that the secondary rune colors match, so you only have 3 rune colors.
Mm-hmm. There are lots of ways to do it that are very interesting to me. And then I also think just the flexibility of it. If someone thinks you can't get somewhere, and then a hero that's already exhausted can, getting to go twice with a chemo feels really good.
Very good. As we continue our journey of hashtag make a chemo great again.
Yes. All right, so it looks like we had Yami move through that minion. She attacked Setharu, and now she is leading, trying to push that back.
And really, she has to, because with all the minions dead, there's 2 heroes there, and we assume that either, well, Ekrit already moved, but Setharu can still take a lead action on Mikhael's side as well. So if Yami doesn't lead, that would force Miyuki to lead, or the control zone would advance towards him. And he definitely does not want both tokens pushing towards him, given that invasion is a victory condition.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a really hard spot for fldash because he has to defend from a breach, so he wants to put as many heroes on the left as he can. But if he does that, then he's in threat of invasion.
Yes.
But if he led with a 3 there, that's a lot safer because he can't push it all the way to the tower, likely.
So the question then becomes, will we see another ploy for the dome? Mikhael has 2 heroes left, and fldash has 1. So again, if Miyuki does not go into the dome, then you just can simply do something with perhaps Akuti, and then park her in the dome and call it a day.
So I think you go with Akuti next, and try to clear out that. I don't know if you can clear out that minion actually, but you just move over here, try to get in range of that token, and then push the left lane or his right lane. Mm-hmm. And then Setharu can pivot either to the dome, he can pivot to the left lane right now, or he can stay where he is if he thinks he needs to push to the right lane. The Setharu can move down 3 across the dome and then skirmish into range of this control point on the left.
Yeah, that's true. Setharu could also jump in and okay, there we go. So now we're going to move in with the skirmish and start dealing some damage to Habarat.
Interesting. Why Habarat, you think?
I would assume well, no, that doesn't make any sense for that argument. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Because Setharu has less HP, you can see Setharu since you're adjacent to him. That cover hex isn't going to hide him.
Interesting. And then Akuti's killing that minion. Ooh. Another hurt.
Okay, so that takes care of all the minions on flDash's side, which means this is going to be some pressure. It's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough to kill him, but that tower is going to look pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on if he actually had a good lead with Sethru or not.
All right, there we go. We're going to put a lead.
If he had skirmished Sethru, then the other Sethru is going to get another skirmish and potentially an attack on that Sethru. Is that enough to kill him, maybe? It could have been. Especially
yeah, it might require a little bit of luck on the flips.
If he was able to kill Sethru there, though,
that would be huge. That would be game. Well, that would be game over, really.
Yeah.
There's enough red control that would be the end if Sethru dies.
I wonder, is Michael running like shove?
He does have 2 shoves in Ekrit's deck, so yes, that is also a possibility. Yeah,
if he can shove Sethru into the dome, that would be gross.
And given that shove is a reaction card, it doesn't matter that Akuti's already gone. She can play that at the end of the round and just knock him over, and that'll pretty much end it because Habarat did not lead. And there's enough combined with the minions, the heroes, the boosted presence, plus the leads there that would result in a tower destruction.
And don't forget that Kinwei has a presence on her as well.
Yes.
Which I had let slip my mind for a moment there. So he's at 5, potentially up to 8, to a potential 5 on the fldash side.
Yep. Yeah, this is the classic pin somebody in the corner and then just watch them squirm kind of scenario here. And at the beginning, I didn't think it was going to be a super control heavy game, and yet again, we find out that I'm completely wrong.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Worship action to
slow Sethru. That's huge. Yeah, the Miyuki's worship action gives the marked hero slow.
All right, very nice. So that will at least prevent Sethru from being able to, as you mentioned, move skirmish and join in the dome, unless he has another fast that he can use to negate the slow.
And he definitely could.
With 3 swiftnesses in the deck, and also 2 time glitches, there is a very real possibility that slow doesn't really matter a whole lot.
So, Commander, have you gotten to play many games on the Ashen Pass yet?
I have actually not. It does make me a little nervous because I am going to play in the Sunday qualifier region, but I have not gotten a whole lot of experience on Ashen Pass, so I signed up for that prelim qualifier tournament. I forget what the actual title that we settled on was, the qualifier to the qualifier or what have you, that we're going to be doing over the weekend.
The warm-up tournament's the right term.
There we go. Thank you. Yes. So I think I'm gonna try and learn a lot that I can right there. I have some ideas, but from what I can see, I feel like mono factions will be better, like just in general. I'm not going to necessarily say which color is the best yet, but I think that running all of one color will have its advantages just given the compact size of the map.
Definitely. I think it's more so for certain factions than others. Skirmishing, hitting Yami.
1 damage to Yami, and into the dome over 2. Okay, so he's in the center of the dome, and what else is he going to do here? Again, if he has a way to cleanse slow, he can just move himself within range of the control zone, but I would guess he would have probably played that by now if he did.
I would think the same thing. He might have a dodge. Oh, nope.
Okay, so he is going to worship his token. That is something to be had there.
Interesting.
Now, Cythero's illusion does make it so projected heroes can play. Okay, we're just going to lead from the deck.
From hand, I think.
From hand, excuse me. That's an interesting choice because he's guaranteed to win the dome unless there's a dodge. Okay, so maybe not. So that was actually a good idea that he did lead from the hand after all.
So dodge can't go into the dome though. It's a target hex.
Good point. Interesting then.
Oh, he put it back in his hand, I think.
Okay, maybe he realized that was why then.
I'm really perplexed on this Setharu illusion placement.
Yeah, because wait a minute. We'll get to that in a second. As Nightmares Incarnate comes out from fldash. Okay.
Oh, he has a shove.
Okay, there we go. Okay. If that shove is put on Cythera, which I assume it is in order to negate that, I think this is just GG here.
Yeah, does not look like good unless he has another thing to do.
Okay, so
if he had not used that mana, he could have played dodge. Yes. Oh
no. I think that's just game then, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus the lead value versus Habarot's 1. So unless I'm missing something here, I'm not going to call it too soon because I've jumped the gun before, but I think that's just game by right breach.
It's going to take a card that I don't know exists. Oh, that is unfortunate. If he hadn't played that Nightmares Incarnate.
Yeah, because if the Nightmares Incarnate would have gone off, even with the Cytheru shove, I think you still are left with one tower point left, if my math is correct here. But with that minion still alive, I think that's I guess never mind. I'm not calculating the lead part. So yeah, I think that with Cytheru being shoved out of the control zone, that's kind of just game.
Yeah, I don't see how it's not unless he led with a 0, which I don't think he has any in his deck.
Let's take a peek here. I don't think he does either. Nope, there are none. There are no zeros in this deck.
Miyuki led hard.
Yeah, as we can see, that control zone is sent all the way against the tower, but unfortunately, I don't think this is enough to stop control zone 2.
Oh, and a 3 from the top.
Oh boy. Yeah, with that wind blast, I'm pretty sure that that's game over by right breach there.
Yep.
4 from Akuti, 4 from Akuti, 2 from Kenwi, plus 2 minions versus just Habrot. You can see all the tower pieces are gone. Victory by right breach to Mikhael at the end of round 2. Good game.
Whew. That was quick. All right, let's hop over there and talk to him for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Your fate there.
Yeah, I mean, I just really screwed up on this side. To be honest,
that's okay.
Yeah,
it's hard to play against an Akuti and a Kinwi.
Yep.
And a Lord of the Ancestors.
And an Ekrit. Yeah. All very strong heroes for these objectives for sure.
Guys, that game was very fascinating.
Very much.
You mean very quick?
it was quick, but I think there were a lot of very interesting decision points there.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, I sorry I couldn't make it a little longer, but I don't think it would have mattered, right? Even if I kill this guy. So my plan was I didn't read dodge right. I was gonna dodge in with Yami to tie the middle. And then of course he still had his shove, and then play Nightmares Incarnate to get rid of a minion to make the lane a little more fair. At that point it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4 to 2, and I had a 3, and he probably had a 3. So at least I'm only getting 2 towers knocked. And then I would have pushed this one. That was actually a 3 on Mayuki, so I still would have pushed it within range to get his tower next turn. But lots of things happened leading up to that point outside of my bad read of the dodge card. He still had a shove, so it ultimately wouldn't have mattered.
So if you hadn't played the Nightmares Incarnate, you could have dodged with Setharu, so you didn't get shoved.
I don't know that he was going to shove. Yeah, true.
You could just say that just in case, because that's what loses the game for you there. If you lose Setharu.
Yeah, I wasn't going to shove if he had passed with full mana up. I would have just wasted his mana and used the shove on like saving a Kuti or Ekrit from dying. But I wanted to position there specifically for the ability to shove Setharu into the dome and win this lane. And then when he didn't lead with Habrat, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we probably had this.
Yeah, it was probably a mistake. I should have led with Habrat since he was around in the middle. And I knew at the beginning of the turn I was probably going to have to bring him around here to kill these 2 minions. I just didn't think it far enough ahead to go ahead and lead with him instead of Setharu.
It's all right. Mistakes that anyone could have made.
Turns out this game is also still super young. We're all learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm pretty
guys,
sure I learned about 4 things myself during this game.
What was that?
Well, first of all, I learned about the dodge being a target as well, because I was like, oh, wait a minute, we can just dodge. And as Tim Bum pointed out, no, you can't target, because we were talking about Setharu inside the dome and targeting, and then he's like, no, there's no line of sight because of the dome perimeter. I was like, oh, you're right, dodge is a target.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for playing. Thank you all for tuning in. If you guys haven't heard or signed up for the World Series, go ahead and do that. It's going to be awesome. We're playing on Sunday on the Ashen Pass. It's just going to be a ton of fun, and we hope that everyone enjoys it. And we'll see you guys all next time.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for the game, man.
Yeah, thank